Tensions in the Iran war have reached a critical point. After weeks of conflict, failed talks, and rising global pressure, the situation is now on the edge. Diplomacy is still happening, but the risk of escalation is growing fast. The war, which began at the end of February, has now entered its 7th week. Thousands have been killed, and global markets are feeling the impact. A 2-week ceasefire was announced on April 7 to allow negotiations, but it remains fragile. Just days after the ceasefire, the United States, Iran, and Pakistan began 3-party talks, showing how urgent the situation has become. Pakistan stepped in as a mediator, with its prime minister meeting both sides separately to keep communication alive. But the biggest update is this: the latest round of talks has failed. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed that after 21 hours of intense negotiations, no agreement was reached. The main issue remains Iran's nuclear program. The United States wants a clear commitment that Iran will not develop nuclear weapons, but Iran has refused to accept those terms. Vance said the U.S. was negotiating in good faith, staying in constant contact with President Donald Trump and top officials throughout the talks. Even after the failure, technical teams from both sides are still meeting, which means discussions are not completely over yet. At the same time, the conflict is spreading across the region. Israel is preparing for direct talks with Lebanon in Washington next week, but violence is still ongoing. Clashes between Israel and Hezbollah have intensified, and over 2,000 people in Lebanon have already been killed. This raises concerns that the conflict could turn into a wider regional war with multiple fronts. The economic impact is already visible. Markets in the U.S. are unstable and oil prices are fluctuating. Inflation has surged, driven partly by rising fuel costs. One key factor is the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil supply, controlled by Iran. This gives Iran strong leverage in the situation, as any disruption there can affect energy prices worldwide. Right now, everything depends on what happens next. Talks may resume, but trust is low and time is running out. If diplomacy fails, the risk of escalation becomes very real. The coming days will decide whether this conflict moves toward peace or something much bigger.